What's going down, kinfolk? You are now rocking with the gaming mobster, Screwface Capone, and I'm back with another edition of Screwface's Toy Shelf. And I got a pretty big one today. What you're looking at is the Taito Egret 2 Mini. Y'all know I'm a sucker for these mini consoles, and you know I'm a sucker for these special editions. So I got the big $500 blue edition. Yeah. Anyway, I pre-ordered it from Strictly Limited Games several months ago, so I financed it. So obviously I didn't pay off $500 at once. But you know they take a while to ship it out, and I just got it last week. So, I figured I already did one unboxing, so why not do another? So anyway, what this is actually a mini-scaled version of the Egret 2 arcade cabinets. If you remember, a little over a year ago, I took a look at the Sega Astro City Mini, and that's another such sit-down arcade cabinet. Well, it's a replica of the sit-down arcades. But anyway, what these are is that, like, in Japan, you'll have these arcades that you actually go into, and they'll have several arcades within a row. You actually sit down at them and play them instead of just standing up. And what it is like they'll have like a game. It'll just be the shell, but they'll have like the game installed on it. So you can go in here and you can play anything from I don't know, Space Invaders to Street Fighter, just whatever the arcade operator put on there. So here is the Egret 2s. So as you can see, I think this is Darkstalkers. I can't really tell, but you can see what I'm talking about. And also, I found this on Pinterest, by the way. And this is one of the Astro City arcades. So Sega actually had a line of these. So this is what they look like. You go in and you can sit down and play them. I think someone would even have a cup holder, so you can probably get yourself something to drink. Like all these cabinets, they have two players, but like the way they're set up, it's only going to be like a single affair. You might be able to play, like, you might be able to bring a friend over, but like it's just going to be like one cabinet to one person. Anyway, so that's basically what this is. This is the Egret 2, and this is an arcade cabinet that Taito made. Now, who is Taito? Or what is Taito, I should say. Now, when you think about classic arcade game manufacturers and classic arcade game developers, especially ones of Japanese origin, usually names like Capcom, Konami, Namco, Data East, and SNK come to mind. Maybe Tecmo, maybe Irene. But like one name that really doesn't get bought up nowadays is Taito. And that's really a shame because they come out with some of the most influential titles of gaming. If you're my age or older, by the way, I'm 41 if you must know, then no doubt you played at least one of their games in your lifetime. Even if you don't know the name Taito, whether it's an arcade game or something they bought the consoles. And even younger people, if they never played a Taito game, then they probably played something that's been influenced by Taito. Like they've had, I don't think people realize the impact that they had on gaming. They put out games like Space Invaders, Kicks, Bubble Bobble, Bust a Move, Operation Wolf, Camel Tree. We're talking about some of the most influential games in our hobby, like groundbreaking, innovative. Even something that's more mundane or more generic, like say Ninja Warriors or Darius or the New Zealand Story or Rainbow Island. Like even playing those games, like there's a certain kind of feeling that you get from Taito that I can't really describe it. But like when you play something from Taito, you know it's them. Like same way when you play something from Capcom. Or when you play something from Konami, you know they're going to give you an experience and they're going to give you a feeling that you can only get from Capcom or from Konami or from Taito. Like when you're playing Castlevania from Konami or when you're playing Street Fighter from Capcom. It's like that when you're playing stuff like, say, Darius from Taito, or maybe something like Growl. Even games that are similar to other games or other genres. It's still that unique kind of thing. You just don't get that anymore in gaming. Older heads are gonna know what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm a sucker. That's why I'm a sucker for a device like this, the Egret 2 Mini. Like I said, I'm really big on game preservation, and I'm all for paying for classic games if you make them available in a reasonable manner. Now, like I said, I paid $500 for the big blue bundle, but this will run you back anywhere from $170 to $500, depending on where you purchase it and what bundle you decide to get. Like, not only did they release the unit, but there's also a bunch of extra add-ons, like controllers, and other little things like that you can also get. So there are like several different bundles available. So this is like the biggest one. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, see what's inside, and play some games on here. And I'll give my first impressions. But before I do that, if you're new to this channel, then first of all, what I do on this channel is I take a look at cool tech, indie games, as well as retro titles. So if you want something that's different from the AAA slog, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you can join the mafia. So without further ado, we're going to open this bad boy up. Alright, here we are. We're going to go ahead and open this thing up. Glad there's no tape on it here this time. We're going to put this up. There's a couple fold outs in here. There's a ton of like printed material. So first of all, you got all these things, which is a bunch of like posters and arcade flyers. Here's Space Invaders. There's a Scramble. There's a Don Doko Don. So I guess they got one for each game that's on this device. That's pretty cool. This is Elevator Action Return, so there's some pretty cool stuff. It really feels like these could be flyers they distributed around this time. I'll have to put these up somewhere to keep them from getting damaged. So here's a sticker, and here's some cardboard thingy and game station. Guess I can put this up somewhere too. Here's a random brown thingy. And here's a... Not sure what this is. This might be another sticker, or this might be some kind of marquee. The Taito Strategy Book. This is pretty cool. So, it's like a strategy guide, just like back in the days. So I mentioned this came with various controllers that you could purchase with it. So here's an Egret Mini 2 control pad. So you can actually plug that in and play 2-player games. Oh, and I'll open this up shortly. Now here's the paddle and trackball expansion set. One thing that Taito did was they put out a lot of games that featured use of a trackball. So what they did is they actually put this separately, and I think they put 10 extra games that's on an SD card that you actually put in the unit. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just build them in or just connect them to this thing or whatever, because something could happen to the SD card. But then again, it's nice to have these extras on here. I'll open these controllers up pretty soon. Let's see what else we got. Now, when I was talking about the Sega Astro City, they actually came out with an Astro City mini unit, and I took a look at that about a year ago. A little over a year ago, in fact. So here is a 75th anniversary soundtrack CD. So there's 4 discs. It's full of music from various Taito games. Remember CDs? It's like a 1994 all over again. So I guess I'll probably just rip this to my computer so I can put it on my phone and listen to it while working out. There's something else in here, the control panel. So this is another control joystick on here. So for 2P colors. So if you don't want to just use the control pad that's on the unit, then you can just hook these. You can just hook this up to it too. Or if you want to bring along a 2-player, then there's that. And of course, you got the unit itself. So I want to keep that box in good condition because I'm going to be moving again in a few months. So I want to keep everything in a good condition. So obviously, this is the unit itself. So I believe they did import this from Japan and packaged it in Europe. So like here's all the games that you're getting on here. You probably can't see it. You got stuff like Space Invaders, Kicks, you got Rostan Saga, lots of good stuff. So like these controllers that come with it, they're a lot bigger than I expected them to be. I'm going to put these all to the side so they won't come to any harm. Alright, so now we got that box open. We're going to go ahead and unbox all of these things. First, we're going to start with the Paddle and Trackball expansion set. So again, what this is, they give you 10 extra games along with a paddle ball and a trackball so you can play those games you need that little bit of precision for. So here's the SD card. You're obviously going to plug this up to the unit. And here is the joypad. So yeah, again, this is a lot bigger than, so as you can see, you get the trackball. And you get a little turn dial on here. There are like 2 buttons. Again, like this is a lot bigger than I thought that it would be. So move that off to the side. Now we're going to take off the 2-player control panel. Let's open this up. Again, these boxes feel really nice. This is definitely one that I'm going to have to make sure I take good care of for when I move. So let's open this one. So I really like I really got to admire the packaging. Of course, here's another instruction manual that comes with it. And here is the control panel. Alright, so it's a little mini arcade, it's a little mini joystick. I think there's at least one fighting game on here, so this would definitely come in handy for that. But this feels actually surprisingly heavy. Like, I would almost compare this to that Neo Geo Pro Stick. It actually feels quite heavy. So let's set this off to the side, and its box. So again, these things, like, when I looked at the things being advertised, they seemed a lot smaller than they actually are. You can tell they put a lot of work into this. So here is the control pad. So let's take that off. We're going to go ahead and open this up. Again, they're all USB cables, so I'm wondering if you can just use these as game pads. Or maybe even an arcade stick for like something like the Switch or the Xbox or the PC. But yeah, this is the game pad. So there's 6 buttons, and you got a purple and blue buttons and a little white button. Actually, it just feels kind of pretty... feels very smooth. Got that newness factor for it. And this control pad, if you actually got like diagonal inputs instead of just having to make sure you're holding like the up and the right button or whatever. You like feel it clicking when I'm pressing the buttons. So let's put this one to the side, and we're gonna open up the main event. So you got an HDMI cable, because of course you can hook this up to your monitor. Here is the USB charge cable. Ooh, what did I drop? Oh wow, I wonder what these are. Some kind of cards or something. Let's open it up and see what they are. Yes, they got one for each game. Poochie Carrot. There's Camo Tree. So I have to look up and see what actually these are. I think there's something else I might have dropped. Ah, this. So I guess you would take one of these, you would stick it somewhere on this thing. You will put this on, and I think you can put this on top of the machine. Speaking of which, let's take this out. And this is the Egret 2. So you put this bad boy on top. Let's see if I can get this in there. Okay, so I guess that's how it fits. And one cool thing that, now one thing I didn't mention earlier is that you can actually take this screen and turn it flip side. There are some vertical shooters that you can play on here, so you can definitely put this in the vertical mode. We'll take this screen protector off. You can put it back in and it clicks right into place. Of course, here's the joystick, here are the buttons. And here's the back side. This is the panel that doesn't open up. Here's the on-off switch. Here's 2 USB ports. Here's the HDMI port, and here's a headphone jack. And here's the DCIN jack for your AC plug. Now, of course, it doesn't come with its own AC. It obviously doesn't come with its own AC adapter plug, but I'm pretty sure you can use like one of those cheap ones you can find from Walgreens. But they do come with the cable for it, and that's what this is. Before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and put this bad boy in there. Now, I wonder if you can probably use this thing as a means of side-loading games. So yeah, it's in there. Here's what it looks like. I'll just take this off for now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug this in. We're going to play some games, but before I do that, I'm going to fetch my Sega Astro City Mini. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, and clean this all up too. So as you can see, I not only got my Astro City Mini, I also got my other mini arcades. Here's the Neo Geo Mini, and here are the Data East and the Namco Museum mini arcades from my arcade. I took a look at both of these a few years ago, so you can find them on the channel if you want to take a look. Let me make sure I got that in the full thing to the shot of the Neo Geo. But yeah, I decided to line these up next to each other to compare sizes. So you can see this is like at the middle point. But of course, it's got the big screen of all these. This is the screen for the Data East, and this is the screen for the Namco Museum. Here's the Egret, here's the Astro City, and here is the Neo Geo. So, if you're interested in learning more about these things, I take a look at all of them on the channel. So, I got a playlist called Screwface's Toy Show. So, check that out if you want to learn more about each of these. But anyway, now comes the fun part. I'm going to hook this up to my graphics card, plug it in, and we're gonna get some gameplay footage. So I decided to connect this to my capture card and record some game footage. So I had some issues trying to get my vocals to record right, like over live gameplay, so I decided to just skip it and show you guys some clips of various games, along with some of the menu interface. Now I like the Sega Astro City Mini menu better than I like this one, and try saying that 3 times fast. But if you saw my review from a little over a year ago, then you'll see why. I think the Egret 2 menu, as you can see, it looks a little bit bare bones compared to it. It's not really that big of a deal though, because there's a few tricks that you can use. You can sort the games by either the name or the release date. You can also mark games as favorites. Now, one thing you'll notice is that when you highlight a game, then the demo that plays on the mini arcade machine will either display vertically or horizontally. So if you want to rotate the screen, then you can see which games work the best for that. Since I'm using an HDMI screen, it obviously isn't going to matter, and they're going to put like specialized borders around the screen, like you can see here. Now, another thing that you'll notice is that when you highlight certain games, the Taito logo in the top left changes into the Tile Plan logo. That's because the two companies work together to put out some of their games. You can also select background music, a CRT filter. You got other tweaks too. So like, again, while the interface on the Astro City Mini was special, there are a lot of little tweaks and features here and there that make this one just as user-friendly. Of course, the emulation is spot on perfect, at least from what I can tell. If a device that's released in 2022 is having troubles running arcade games from 3 or 4 decades ago, then what you actually have is an overly expensive paperweight. And thankfully, that's not what this thing is. You also got save states and things like that. Again, I don't know how the emulation is done, whether it's a version of MAME or something in-house, but it does the job. I also tried out the trackball games too. If you insert the SD card, it's going to boot directly to a version of the menu that only has the 10 extra games listed. If you haven't already plugged it in, then you'll be prompted to plug in the trackball pad. And and that's the only way that you can play these games. They take some getting used to, especially the games that you use the knob with. I never played these games in the arcade, so I had to practice. Still, once you do get that practice in, it kind of works. Again, it takes getting used to. I think it's puzzling that they didn't just build these games into the machine, and they should really give you an option to use the joystick. Still, you're getting extra stuff, and that's never a bad thing. Now, it should be noted that because this is imported from Japan, most of these games will be in Japanese. Again, that's not really a big deal because they are English friendly. So a few of the games, such as the fighting game Kaiser Knuckle and Cat Ash, are a bit more text heavy, but again, you should have no problems picking up and playing these games. And in the case of Kaiser Knuckle, you got the internet so you can look up those moves. And in my case, I got the strategy guide. So even if your language is English, then you're not going to have any trouble at all playing these. So speaking of Kaiser Knuckle, this unit also includes the game Dan Ku Gai, which is an enhanced version of the game that was unreleased. Of course, you can find a ROM dumped on the internet if you know where to look, but it's cool to see this rarity get an official release in some form. So you got a good selection of games all in all, and there's tons of variety, plus you got some classics, and there's pretty much something for everyone. One omission that I felt was a big one was Operation Wolf. In fact, none of Taito's light gun games are on here. Obviously, they probably won't work as well with the joystick, and it's something that you might need a light gun for. I mean, I did play these games on the Taito Legends arcade compilation, so they worked with the analog sticks on Xbox, but that was that. Still, it's disappointing not to see titles like Space Gun or Battle Shark on here because they're as much a part of Taito's legacy as anything else. Still, they're no big loss, and you'll be happy with the lineup, especially if you're new to this kind of thing. Usually with these things, these compilations or these devices, fans will have their own opinions on what should and shouldn't be on here, and this is going to be no different. So that was my look at the Egret Mini, and this is the gameplay as you can see. So let's head out and wrap things up. Alright, so real quick before I ended this, I want to demonstrate the startup sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and click this on switch. And this is going to be actually on the unit itself, and you notice how this thing lit up when I turned it on. And of course, here's this. And of course, this is what you do if you want to flip the screen around. I'm holding the camera at the same time, so it's kind of hard to see. And the screen flips around with it. So that's pretty nifty. And one more thing, when you turn it off, here's what happens. So that's like a little cool exit sound, so you gotta like that. So they definitely took a lot of care into that. Alright. So that was my look at the Egret 2 Mini. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely a great system if you're a fan of classic games. Only a few minor issues I had with it. It didn't really have Operation Wolf or any of the gun games. And again, I know that it would probably be better suited for maybe a Switch compilation where you can hook up to a TV and use the infrared controller to do the shooting. But it kind of really would have worked well with the trackball peripheral. Speaking of which, the trackball games, they kind of felt a bit complex, but I never really played games in the arcade using the little knob or the trackball. So it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to and a little bit of practice. Also, I'm wondering why it does a separate booting for the SD card when maybe they probably could have just integrated it within the unit itself. But again, it's only a small issue, and extra games are always nice. I know tons of people, especially people who are more knowledgeable of Taito and its back catalog, they're gonna have their own opinions on what should be added on here and what shouldn't be. And and there might even be a way to sideload this. But for now, I think this is definitely a great selection of games from Taito's past. You got it spanning throughout the 80s and the 90s. You got a healthy mix of genres. You even got some rarities that you've probably never seen before. So, like I keep saying, there's something for everyone on these things. And getting all the extra that I got even made the deal even sweeter. So, yeah, if you're into classic gaming, I would definitely recommend this thing. I think they might still have some of the blue editions on sale. But even if you can't get that, then the unit itself, it's still a pretty decent price. As far as the 10 extra games that you get with the trackball stuff, they can be either hit or miss. So, I wouldn't say that they would be completely necessary, but if you're a fan of games like Arachnoid, then definitely check it out. Like I said, more games is always good. So, yeah, this is the Egret 2 Mini, and I hope you enjoy my look at this. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you haven't done so, then please consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know whenever I put out new content. I put out new videos every Wednesday and every Saturday. Normally I do the Shark Tank on Wednesdays, but because I wanted to do something bigger for the 200 subscriber threshold, that's why I got this video out. But again, I'll have Shark Tank later on this week. That's where I take a look at a game's demo for an indie game and give it a rating. Also, the podcast, Will Talks About Games. I'm getting ready to record the next episode, so that should be up, if not Wednesday evening, it'll be up Thursday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm basically going over some of the bigger announcements from Tokyo Game Show. And I got some more stuff coming throughout the week, so definitely like, comment, and subscribe. So earlier I mentioned the Sega Astro City Mini. That's the mini console that we took a look at earlier. I actually have a whole feature on this as well. So if you like the Egret 2 Mini, then you'll love that. If you want to learn more about it, then just pop the link that just popped up on your screen. Click on the video that just popped up on your screen. So until next time, have a great rest of your week. And I'm outie, 51,000 G, kinfolk.